At Laurelthirst Pub in Northeast Portland, the music flows like it does in other small venues across the city. But now some owners worry they're in danger of closing.
They basically want to put a placard in front of all the buildings saying that they're unsafe.
Owner Louis Longmire is talking about the city's new unreinforced masonry seismic upgrade mandate. City Council approved a years-long process to develop a new seismic code that would make this and other buildings safer during an earthquake.
I don't think that anybody is against increasing safety in any of these buildings.
Longmire's problem is with this, a contract the city attorney recently sent him and other building owners. He says it would prevent owners from refinancing or selling the building until seismic upgrades are done. To Longmire, it's the equivalent of agreeing to a lien.
And that sort of eliminates most of the possibilities to get funding to do the work. Most people would try and refinance their building, take out equity money, or take out a loan against the building.
It's less than public spirited.
Mayor McLaughlin with Music Portland helped organize a rally protesting how the city is handling the mandate.
I need City Hall to understand that people care deeply about this. They care about the places, they care about the music culture that's here.
There's a long list of venues that may need seismic upgrades, like the Crystal Ballroom. Keller Auditorium and Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall are also on the list, but they're owned by the city. But what will happen to the others, like Laurelthirst? McLaughlin wants the city to think hard on that.
They're at risk of really just destroying what makes Portland, Portland.
We made several calls into city offices this afternoon for a response to building owners' concerns and are waiting to hear back. Tomorrow's protest will be in front of City Hall at 10 a.m., rain or shine.